For over 10 years, we've been referred to Marvel's connected movies as the MCU. But what if Endgame caused all that to change? What if it would now be known as the Marvel Cinematic Multiverse, or MCM for short? What if the time travel, quantum realm, and build for all of these years was leading to a multiverse of epic proportions? And what if we could prove all of this to you with a crazy theory that just seems to fit every piece of the puzzle? Well, strap yourself into one of those nifty new white Avengers suits and get ready for a wild ride as we explore how Avengers Endgame could change the scope of the MCU forever. For a world of superheroes, a majority of Marvel films have been pretty grounded, taking place on Earth and having our heroes protect those at home. Well, in the past couple of years, things have taken a crazy turn. Guardians of the Galaxy introduced us to other planets. Thor stuck mainly to Earth and Asgard until Thor Ragnarok. Doctor Strange showcased multiple dimensions, and the Ant-Man series has brought us into a whole other world known as the Quantum Realm. All of these elements have built up to the epic battle scene in the Avengers Infinity War, and will conclude in Avengers Endgame. For Marvel, it seems like their Endgame is opening up a whole new world and option for filmmakers to explore the multiverse. So what exactly is the multiverse? It's the idea of multiple universes occurring at the same time in the world of space and time. The Earths from multiple universes are essentially parallel to each other, and so far our heroes have not had access to these other worlds. For many years, we've already known that the events of the MCU take place on Earth 199999, meaning it's just one of thousands of other Earths. So what exactly is the advantage of the multiverse in the MCU? Well, it opens the doors to just about everything. Accessing another universe and different versions of Earth can introduce all types of heroes. It can help explain the arrival of the X-Men or showcase a different actor in the role of a hero like Captain America or Spider-Man. To help visualize the process, there are already two great examples of just exactly how the MCM would work. One comes directly from Marvel, the Academy Award-winning animated movie Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. The movie explores different versions of Spider-Man across multiple universes, and for a kids' movie, things are explained and mapped out in a pretty clear and uncomplicated way. Another example in the live-action realm comes from the CW's Arrowverse, and specifically The Flash. Thanks to Cisco's vibing powers, characters are able to travel to different Earths, including one where Supergirl lives and others where multiple versions of the Flash are found. In short, with a proper introduction and explanation, the multiverse could easily be explained and manipulated in the current MCU without feeling too forced or contrived. And the seeds have already been planted to easily transition into the multiverse world. The Ant-Man series of films may have involved fun stories of heists and great visual effects, but they could also provide the key to unlocking the multiverse through the quantum realm. In the first Ant-Man, we were briefly introduced to the idea of the realm as Scott Lang travels there during the climactic moments of the movie. The idea is explored even further in Ant-Man and the Wasp, where we learn some of the true powers the realm has to offer. There are hints of time travel, wormholes, and accessing worlds never explored before. Scott Lang even has a mental connection with Janet Van Dyne, using the powers of the quantum realm. And during the hype surrounding Ant-Man, more videos were released focusing on the world of the quantum realm, time travel, and multiple universes. Published for Caltech, Paul Rudd plays Stephen Hawking in a chess match. But not just any chess match. A quantum game of chess. Along with chess moves and a voiceover from Keanu Reeves, there are Ant-Man clips of the quantum realm and some detailed information of how time travel in multiple universes could effectively work in the MCU. The follow-up video also featured Zoe Saldana, furthering the Marvel connection and giving more insight on how far the MCU wants to go in establishing the multiverse. Scott Lang may have been absent from the Avengers Infinity War, but it's clear his return for Endgame will play a crucial in the film.
Ant-Man, I know you know that.
And reversing the decimation which took out half of the world's population. So what exactly will all of these Avengers be doing in the quantum realm? How will traveling through time and to different universes help? Well, it all has to do with the Infinity Stones. The stab may have been quick, but using the power of all those certainly took its toll on Thanos and the Infinity Gauntlet. At the end of Infinity War, it was clear the gauntlet was damaged. The stones may have crystallized, rendering them either useless or having very little of the power they once had. This leaves very few options for the Avengers to use the stones again. Thanks to Scott, they can formulate a plot to reverse the decimation, and it involves getting new versions of the stones. This could be done in multiple ways through access of the quantum realm. One way could be by traveling back in time and retrieving the stones where they knew they were at specific points, including the Battle of New York from the first Avengers. Along with time travel, the Avengers could travel through the quantum realm to reach another version of Earth, one where Thanos has not captured all of the stones, and Avengers can collect them as needed. There may already be signs of Marvel committing to the multiverse in Endgame as well. One of the biggest ones comes from a set leak featuring images of Robert Downey Jr. wearing an outfit indicating he is the leader of the S.H.I.E.L.D. Now, we cannot imagine this promotion happening after the events on Titan, so the best explanation is a Tony Stark from a different Earth. This Tony Stark not only took on the mantle of Iron Man, but helps lead S.H.I.E.L.D. in the process. When the Earth 19999 Avengers come to this Earth, they may be seeking out the Tesseract from their version of the Battle of New York. Along with Ant-Man and the Quantum Realm, there's another huge element to help explore time travel in the MCU: Captain Marvel. Not only did she just get her first solo movie, but we got a clear example of how her powers work in the MCU. After going around 20 years from the end of Captain Marvel and to present day, it's pretty clear Captain Marvel hasn't aged at all. Her binary form allows her to travel extremely fast, and could be some sort of time travel as she makes her way through space. Once returning to help the Avengers and find Nick Fury, Captain Marvel could be the catalyst in defeating Thanos, within just the first hour of Endgame. There have been plenty of musings about a bigger threat, and some new enemies for the Avengers to take on. So not only does getting vengeance against Thanos make sense, but it leaves plenty of on-screen time for a multiverse to get introduced. And the introduction of a multiverse may not just be the Avengers traveling to different Earths and times, but some pretty big enemies making their way across the multiverse. The decimation that Thanos set off could end up creating the even bigger threat, and even force Thanos to team up with the Avengers to help. But that's a whole different story. One of the main ways Marvel can introduce the multiverse and branch out to the larger Marvel Cinematic Multiverse is through the bigger threat, either in the form of a multiverse incursion, the Celestials, or the cosmic beings. Theories about the possible new and bigger threat have been going around the internet for months, including a theory from Reddit user CopyDog83. Each powerful presence would represent a great battle for the Avengers to take on, and a threat that could pose even bigger problems than Thanos ever did. Let's look at the incursion. More of an event than an enemy, adding the incursion to Endgame would result in a ticking clock for the Avengers to save Earth. In the multiverse event, something like the decimation could have set off multiverse contradictions. And without getting too deep into the science of it, basically an incursion causes two different Earths to collide. Naturally, the Earths will be destroyed, but the universes they belong to will be destroyed as well. Some pretty high stakes there. Once the event begins, there's 8 hours before it completes. Thankfully, there are a handful of ways to stop it. One of them including the destruction of one Earth to save both universes, but allowing the remaining Earth to live on, creating the ultimate sacrifice. The actions of Infinity War and messing with different universes could also trigger the arrival of the Celestials. Often referred to as alien gods, the creatures usually appear as giant humanoids and have been around the multiverse since its first formation. They are protectors of the Milky Way galaxy, and this includes every timeline and dimension found in the multiverse. The larger-than-life Celestials could easily make their way to planet Earth after the decimation caused a huge disturbance in the multiverse as a whole. The Celestials would not only cause major problems for our heroes, but Thanos could find himself on the receiving end of punishment for causing some trouble in the first place. Did we say some trouble? Well, we meant wiping out half of the universe's population. If the Celestials sound familiar to the MCU, they should be. They were first introduced in Guardians of the Galaxy. The planet Nowhere is actually not a planet at all. It's the hollowed-out head of a Celestial. We got to see more of their real form and power when we met Peter Quill's father in Guardians of the Galaxy Part 2.
And I'm your dad, Peter.
Ego was a Celestial, and just one of many powerful beings roaming the galaxy. If one or more of these show up in Endgame, we could get more details on the multiverse and see just how powerful they all are. Another way to introduce the multiverse in the form of a villain is with the cosmic beings. The arrival of the cosmic beings would be all too fitting, as they are the beings responsible for creating the Infinity Stones. When death, entropy, infinity, and eternity spread the 6 stones across the galaxy, they never expected all of them to be reunited and used in the way Thanos did during the climactic battle in Endgame. The appearance of these beings will certainly bring a lot of punishment among Earth's mightiest heroes and can provide a much bigger threat for them all to go up against. No matter who the Avengers go up against, the characters themselves will have one end goal for the end game: reverse Thanos' actions and restore life on Earth. For Marvel Studios, their end goal is simple: deliver a spectacular movie and leave the possibility of the expanded MCM open for viewers to take hold of, understand, and be ready to explore as a new phase of movies begins. The multiverse allows us to move on and feel saddened by the loss of Chris Evans as Captain America or Robert Downey Jr. as the Iron Man. But the spirit, characters, and costumes could live on through one of the multitude of other Earths available. Endgame will help set up a future where Marvel isn't limited, or has to necessarily exclude certain heroes without completely starting over again. The comics have done it time and time again. Along with Steve Rogers taking on the Captain America mantle, we've seen Sam Wilson, Bucky Barnes, Jeffrey Mace, and Isaiah Bradley don the costume and mantle. Sure, it may take a little bit to get used to, but Marvel has done an amazing job of setting up everything so far and are ready to plant seeds for the future. So as Endgame premieres, it will change the MCU in more ways than people realize. In just a year, the MCM could become common lingo among Marvel movie fans, and we could see how different worlds, characters, and stories make their way into the shared multiverse. No matter what happens, we'll be eagerly awaiting and seeing what Marvel does next. Marvel's future is full of options. Do you want to see a full-fledged multiverse? Should there be multiple versions of the same hero? Any theories we missed along the way? Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe to ScreenRant for more great content!